I think this is really exciting and kind of interesting because, I think everybody has seen the commercial on television. You're watching some show, and then some guy shows up and says, hey, if you buy this aftermarket scan tool, you can save yourself thousands of repair costs at the dealer. And they give you the example of, he's got an EVAP code, and he walks back there, and he pulls it up on his little computer, and then he walks back there and tightens the gas cap. So let me say this right now. That almost never happens. I'll say it again. That almost never happens, that you get one DTC. It just doesn't happen. So I think the way Nick has approached this and the solution they have developed is really unique and really worthwhile looking into. So with that being said, I do have a couple of questions. Do you think we'll ever get to the point where we're going to just have the tool detect what the problem is and have the technician replace the part? Or we're just going to develop a whole generation of parts replacers?
I think we're going to get closer. I think we're going to be able to highly augment that experience. But the part of the key is being able to validate that root cause based off of a test. So we're going to always need to have a human involved to be able to perform that test and then provide the result of that test, which is key to making sure that we're not replacing ECUs unnecessarily and increasing warranty spend and things like that. But we can get close.
That's good to hear. Mm-hmm. And this is a big topic, especially with the Northeast. Do you ever think that you're going to reach, that there will be a point in time where parity is reached between the diagnostic capabilities of the aftermarket and the OEs?
I think it would be very wise for the OEs to do so because they could create an additional revenue stream by providing that guided diagnostic platform to the aftermarket and even to a general consumer for purchase. That way they could not only fund the development and implementation of those platforms, but also make money on top of it. So everybody kind of wins. And it depends on industry too. Like heavy machinery, if you want to talk like, combine harvesters and things like that, they, for the most part, do a really good job at staying connected all the time. You can look at heat maps of every combine harvester by OE that's online in the world, and a lot of those companies are able to glean some diagnostic information about them to know how they're operating, if they have hard faults out there. So, yeah, I think it depends by industry, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. So heavy industry has done a really good job with that. They see things happening before they happen.
Yeah.
So is there, kind of unrelated, but semi-related topic, the traditional service and maintenance schedule that everybody follows, every 5,000 miles, every 10,000 miles, whatever, you got to get your oil changed, you got to get this done, you got to get this done. Do you need that in the future? If you can see it happening before it happens, then this vehicle may have been used in a different manner, which would require more frequent changing of something as opposed to this one over here.
Personally, as a consumer, I would like that to be a push notification on my head unit and on my mobile device. I don't see the need to have a reference maintenance schedule because they're kind of generalized, and it also depends on the way that I drive. Maybe I drive crazier than you, and I might need an oil change a little bit sooner. So yeah, there's really no reason to have the legacy type maintenance schedules in that scenario.
Okay.
I have a question about the DTCs. Is there a feedback process for DTCs that you're finding is from a technician's perspective to improve the specifications? A lot of DTCs are legacy. Some of them aren't designed for what we use them for now today.
That's true.
So I just wanted your thoughts on a feedback mechanism for that data.
Yes, there should be a feedback mechanism. That is something that's a best practice today. It's very important that we leave that as optional because technician mindset is very much based on flat rate. It's very much based on, I don't want to do any unnecessary tasks at any time, and I also don't want to be forced through administrative arduous processes. So when we're working with companies and when we're thinking about this, we're trying to do everything we can to not add any additional tasks or time to that technician process. So we offer like a feedback loop button to where you can add any additional information related to that and choose to escalate that case as well. Even if the case is resolved, you can still choose to escalate relevant information that you discovered through your technician session.
I have a question to follow up on that feedback. So a lot of times in diagnosis trees, they're based on probability. 90% probable that this, if you have this code, this is the fix. But those probabilities are dependent upon knowing, did it actually fix the repair? So how do you feed back into your diagnostic systems the success or failure of a repair?
Good question. So we lead them to the test for repair. We give them instruction on how to perform that test. Best case scenario, there's a value that they need to input, right? Is the range between 4.9 and 5.1. We have them input that value, so that way they don't even need to know the specification. And if they're outside of that range, it'll automatically flag it as a failed test. And then they have to hit a failing button that says, yeah, I failed this test. So that logs all the data into the platform and also helps with actually confirming root cause before repair.